Today, very happy to have the chance to discuss with you a very interesting topic. At least it's very interesting to me. Okay, doing good versus doing well, the myth of business. Doing well, of course, refers to the sense that firms are actually earning financial returns, profits, right? So this is what we mean by doing well. What about doing good? Doing good simply means contributing to society positively. Okay, being a good citizen. Okay, good corporate citizen, for example. So we are going to discuss a little bit. Okay, the relationship between doing well and doing good. Okay, I would like to ask you a simple question, class. I know that you can actually give me response in the chat. Please make good use of it. Okay, simple question. What comes to your mind when you think about the word business? Okay, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you start thinking about business? Let me know your response in the chat. Okay, Stephen said communication and cooperation. Okay, money, making money, profit, give and take, money, leadership, global, good. Okay, making new way for myself. Okay, to become successful. Good point. Analysis, managing, right, business analytics, or the use of data analytics is actually becoming more and more popular in business, right? Collaboration, serve needs, taking risk, very nice. Challenge, entrepreneurship, good points. Okay. So you do have very, very nice ideas about business. Okay. And I'm not sure how many of you have this kind of idea in your mind as well. I mean, some of you mentioned about money, some of you mentioned about profit. And actually, this is very often the case when we first talk about the idea of business. Okay? These kind of things pops up in your mind. Making money, right? In the central part of the diagram here, being the biggest, simply means that this is one of the most common response that we receive from the audience. Okay, making money. Okay, other things like working, bank, earning, success, profit, motivation, marketing, entrepreneurship. Some of you mentioned. Okay, serving needs. They actually do pops up as well, but probably less often. So it's actually quite usually the case when we first talk about business, we have this kind of ideas in our mind. Okay, business is primarily about making money. Okay, making profit. Okay, this is not being about. It's actually kind of not directly connected with others in society. Sometimes we may think that what matters for business is only the shareholders, okay, the owner of the business. They are the only one that the business will care. Sometimes we think that capitalism works just because people are kind of completely self-interest, people were competitive, or even some people are greedy. Okay, so that's why capitalism works. Some people may even think that business people are evil. All right, very strong word. Okay, business people are immoral. Okay, so they may cheat, they may lie, they may even steal. Okay, I'm not saying that every one of us will have this kind of idea, but this is very often the case when we talk to people, especially those who are not in business. Right, they will have this kind of impression. And actually, back in the 1970s, a very important figure in economics, Milton Friedman, has mentioned this kind of statement. Okay, it turns out to be very, very influential quote. So he said that in the 70s, he said that the only social responsibility of business is to use its resources and engage in activities designed to increase its profit. Okay, so later on, this kind of idea saying that business should serve its shareholders, right, making profit, okay, is sometimes referred as the shareholder theory. So shareholders are actually the central of a business. So making money, making financial return is the most important thing. Nothing much, okay, nothing else. Of course. I mean, many people will actually stop here, okay, quoting Freeman, okay, take this statement out of context and then try to elaborate whatever point of view that he or she has, okay? And it turns out, again, this statement was very, very influential, okay, after the 70s. I mean, we see a lot of things that happens in the 80s, in the 90s, that can be traced back to this Milton Friedman's idea in 70s. But then even though this is not the focus of the workshop today, okay, still I would like you to know that there is actually a second part. There's actually a second part of Friedman's saying. The second part is here. So long as, okay, it means business, okay? So long as the business stays within the rules of the game, which is to say, the business engages in open and free competition without deception or fraud. Okay, so this is the more complete idea of Milton Friedman. He is not only proposing, okay, then you are the business, so profit seeking is the only objective that you have. I mean, you can choose whatever of way that you can increase your profit. No, this is not actually the idea of Milton Friedman, but many people actually take his word out of the context and then elaborate in whatever way. Okay, but what we can see here in the past 20 years is that our world is changing. Our world is changing. We are no longer living in the world that people think that business is the only important thing. Okay, the profit is not the only thing in business anymore. There are there are more and more voices saying that business should be contributing positively to society as well. Okay, so making profit is just all right. Everyone knows that profit is a must for a business to survive. But there are pressures, there are voices urging businesses to pay more attention to this contribution to community, paying more attention to the impact on society and the environment. These kind of ideas start to emerge in the past 10 to 20 years. Many of us will agree that businesses exist because of public consent, of course, okay? And therefore, there is an obligation for business to give back to society, not only making profit. So in this sense, business should actually integrate social and environmental issues and concerns into their business operation, okay? So the ultimate objective is not only making profit, but also positively contribute to society. So this kind of idea is further developed by another very important figure, Edward Freeman, who said that business is a part of society. It is not some isolated activity that's just about money, just about profit. Okay, I mean this guy, okay, very wild, okay, like a caveman, is actually a very very important philosopher, very important thinker. Okay, and his idea is later on summarized, okay, by the so-called stakeholder theory. Okay, in contrast with the idea proposed by Milton Friedman in the 70s, I mean, whose idea later on generate what we call shareholder theory. Freeman's idea is later on developed or consolidated by the so-called stakeholder theory. What is stakeholder theory? Okay, so this is an idea that businesses and of course the executives who manage them should create value for customers, of course, okay, but at the same time, suppliers, employees, communities, and financiers. The word that Freeman and his colleagues used is financiers, okay? Or of course, alternatively, we call them shareholders. This is actually who supply the money, okay? So these five types of people around business is affected by business. They are called a stakeholder, okay? So a simple idea, that's what I say, a simple idea proposed by Freeman and in his colleagues is that the objective of a business is not only to serve its shareholders, it's not only to share the owners, okay, by just making maximizing profit. Not only that, this is too narrow, okay. So the objective of a firm should be creating values to all the stakeholders around the firm, customers, of course, owners, okay, or financiers or shareholders, of course, but also a business should pay attention to employees, to the suppliers, and the communities, or even the bigger environment as well. So this is what Freeman suggests, the stakeholder theory. But then later on, further developed, okay, upon further development of another very important concept pops out. Okay, this is actually getting more and more attention since the 90s. We call them corporate social responsibility. Okay, CSR in short. Okay, corporate social responsibility. What is CSR? I mean, I'm sure many of you have heard of CSR before. Okay, so this is actually built upon the idea that Freeman has just established. Okay, so the idea consolidates. Okay, the idea actually give a guide to business that they should integrate social, environmental, and community concerns into making the decision-making process of their business. So this is actually what you can see it here from the diagram. Okay, there's a circle here. In the middle, we have the concept of CSR, corporate social responsibility, that says that the business ecosystem, the people around us, and the bigger environment are all intertwined with each other. So CSR focuses on the responsibility of a business. Okay. So it suggests that a business should not only focus on profit, but also have a very important role and very important responsibility to society. It should take resources and invest, okay, in areas that can benefit the community, benefit the suppliers, benefit the employees, so that the business can actually be a good corporate citizens. Okay. The problem, however, the problem is, does it really mean that there is a trade-off between the firm's profitability and being a good citizen? I mean, I guess this is very natural, right? I guess it's very natural. I mean, we can always imagine a situation like the following. Okay, I'm running a business and I'm so fortunate that I make some money, okay, make a fortune. But then if I pay attention to what is happening around me in a community, I may actually need to say, donate my earnings, donate some money to the community to help out, okay, those in need, to help out those in need. What does it mean? I mean, if the story goes like this, what does it mean? There is a real trade-off. There is a real trade-off between my profitability and the welfare of the others because I'm actually donating my money, right? Okay. However, the question that we are asking here is that is it really what we call a zero-sum game? Okay, zero-sum game. What does it mean by a zero-sum game? A zero-sum game is like dividing a pie. Okay, a pie between you and me. Okay, if I'm getting a larger proportion of the pie, then of course, I mean, what is left for you is a smaller proportion. So this is a situation when we have direct conflict of interest. Okay, when I gain, you lose. When you gain, I lose. So this is a zero-sum game. But does it really the relationship between profitability and being a good corporate citizen? Is it always, at least, is it always the case that we have to give up profitability in exchange for a better, corporate citizens in a community? Let me share with you a story, a very simple story from Levi Strauss. Okay, so you of course know Levi, right? Okay, so you are probably wearing the jeans or wearing whatever kind of trendy clothing, okay, from this fashion giant. Okay, so back in 2011, Levi Strauss has launched a new program called the Worker Wellbeing Program. And as the name implies, okay, the program aims to improve the well-being of its workers. Okay, so Levi start working with the suppliers, okay, in different countries, okay, by surveying the factory workers to hear firsthand what their workers need in order to be more engaged, in order to be more healthy, in order to be more productive. Okay, so this is a small step, but a very smart move. Okay, after all, I mean, that Levi Strauss is a very, very big multinational firms operating in a lot of different countries, a lot of different, say, developing economies mainly. Okay. And different workers from different countries, of course, will face different kind of challenges. They may have different needs. So Levi starts with cooperating with their local suppliers to start understanding the needs that the workers, okay, need of the workers in different countries. And once they identify the challenges faced by the workers, Levi and the suppliers, local suppliers, will then cooperate with nonprofits and NGOs to implement various kind of programs to meet the needs of the workers. Okay, examples include health training programs. Okay, financial training program. Okay, financial literacy workshops, children, childcare. Okay, children's education, daycare services, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what Levi's has been doing since 2011. So I mean, you will be interested to know what the result is. Okay, what is the result of this kind of program? It turns out that 75%, oops, 75% of the factories report an improvement in workers' engagement. So workers are more engaged, okay, more motivated at work after you invest in this kind of training program with them. Half of the factories report improved satisfaction, okay, of the labor, of course, and lower absenteeism. Okay, so this is very important. It's very important for Levi's factory. Why? Because you know that a high turnover rate of the worker, okay, and a serious problem of absenteeism is actually negatively affecting the productivity of the factory, of course, okay? And later on, Levi actually finds out that some of the programs, not all of them, but some of the programs actually generate a financial return of 4 to 1, okay, measured in terms of return on investment. What does it mean? It means that when Levi is investing $1 in improving the workers' well-being, it turns out that it generates $4 return. Okay? Isn't it inspiring? Isn't it striking? So this story of Levi is actually giving us a very important insight. Okay? This kind of program can actually benefit both the workers and the business, Levi, as well. Okay, in terms of profitability. So this idea may not be very, very complicated. This is not even a new idea. Once you point it out, this is obvious, right? If a business does not offer high quality products and services, consumers will stop buying, of course. If a business does not treat its workers well, they will leave. Conversely, if a company is socially responsible, they will improve their reputation, they will attract the best talent, they will be able to build a customer loyalty. And all this means a higher profit for the firm. So, what you can see here is that the pursuit of profit sometimes can also be a force for social good. Okay, so this kind of idea is outlined by the idea that or a term that we call creating shared value. Okay, CSV, very similar to corporate social responsibility, CSR, but this time we have CSV, creating shared value. The idea is proposed by two very important figures, okay, Michael Porter and Mark Kramer in 2011. So the idea was first outlined by an article published in Harvard Business Review, okay, saying that making profit and contributing to society can actually go hand in hand. Okay, so a business can actually generate economic return at the same time by creating social values. And this idea of CSV has been receiving a lot of attention since 2011. Okay, a lot of discussion took place in the New York Times, in Forbes, in Financial Times. It's actually named one of the most important philosophy since 2011. So Porter and Kramer does not only mention this kind of philosophy or concept, okay, they actually outline very important ways that firms can practice CSV. Because of time constraint, I cannot really go into every detail, of course, but at least let me walk you through some important examples, important ideas, so that you have a better understanding. The first way that Porter and Kramer suggest is that a firm can contribute to social value and financial returns, so shared value, okay, by solving problems by its products and service. There is no other classic example, okay, other than Tesla. Okay, everyone knows Tesla, right? So Tesla is contributing to social value, okay, solving environmental problem by creating new product, okay, a new generation of electric car with more advanced technology, okay, in terms of battery. And at the same time, if you pay attention to this, you know what happened to the share price in the stock market of Tesla in the past several weeks, right? And the second way, of course, is the second way that a firm can contribute to CSV is by better cooperation, better operation, okay, or better use, a more efficient use of its own resources. An example that Porter and Kramer suggest is Walmart, okay, one of the biggest retailer in the US and in the world, okay. So they reduce packaging and reroute its trucks to cut more than 100 million miles from the delivery trips. And the result, saving more than 200 million US dollar, even as it shipped more products, okay. So achieving more at a lower cost not only contribute to the financial returns, but also contribute to the environment, contribute to society as well. Okay. Similar program is adopted by one of the biggest conglomerate in the US, the General Electric, GE. Okay, so they have a new program. Okay, back then. Okay, this is called eco-imagination. Okay, so this is a joint word. Eco means the ecosystem, the environment, right? So imagination, so reimagination. So they put together this word. So hence the name of this new program, eco-imagination. Okay, so this is a new program that GE has been investing a lot to build more efficient machines, to produce cleaner energy, reduce greenhouse gases, use clean water and use less water, and at the same time make money while we're doing this. Okay. And finally, the third way is to invest and solve problems connected with business growth and productivity, even though this may not be something within the core business. Okay. May not be within the core business. So an example, a good example is Body Shop, okay, and its open hiring initiative. What is this? Very quickly. So millions of people are in the US are actually denied working opportunities to make a living, okay, for whatever kind of reason, maybe because of their previous, say, criminal record, because they do not have, a very beautiful CV resume, okay, they may not have the previous experience, for some others, I actually come across a report saying that the homeless people have a lot of difficulty finding a job, and the reason is simple. Okay, if you are homeless, if you're homeless, it's very difficult for the firms to contact you and trust you. Okay, so they are not offering you a job. But the problem is, if you have no job, how can you make a living? How can you have your home? So you can see a vicious cycle here. Okay, so what is this open hiring initiative? Body Shop is hiring in its warehouse. Okay, not asking for resume, not asking for interview, not asking for a background check. They only ask three questions. Are you authorized to work in the US? Okay, so the legal aspect. Okay, and second and the third questions, can you stand for up to 8 hours? Can you lift over 50 pounds? So these are some kind of necessary condition for the workers to work in their warehouse. As long as your answers to these questions are yes, if they have the openings, they can actually give you the job. Okay. Okay. So through this kind of initiative, open hiring initiative, Body Shop is actually saving a lot of money. Okay, because the hiring process is actually quite costly. Okay, so Body Shop is redirecting this kind of resources saved in the training of the workers. Okay, especially for the new hires. Okay, employees benefits, and also new programs to support the employees with challenges such as transport. Okay, that make them difficult, make it difficult for them to come to work on time. Okay? So what was the result? Again, what was the result? Okay, the result again is striking. Okay, the monthly turnover in the distribution center dropped by 60%. Warehouse productivity increases by 13%. And money is also saved by simplifying recruitment process. Okay, so what you can see here is that this kind of open hiring initiative, nothing really technical, nothing really high tech. So this is actually a new initiative, okay, that needs some creativity, and it is benefiting both the workers and also the business. Okay, a quote from the workers. Okay, I've been struggling to find a job, and this is one of the only places that would hire me. I'm not going to mess it up. I guess you can understand it. Another quote by the from the general manager of Body Shop US. Okay, she said that when you give people access to something they're struggling to find, they are very committed and work hard and keeping up. Okay, I guess this is actually the essence. This is actually the essence, and through these three different ways, businesses can actually be making financial returns and at the same time contributing to society. Looking to the future, okay, I have just summarized my presentation. Kramer and Porter actually have been training clients from a lot of clients, corporate clients from more than 25 countries around the world on shared value. And we can also see that since 2011, there is a growing number of companies trying to incorporate the idea of shared value into their operation. And Kramer and Porter actually claim, okay, they actually insist that CSV, creating shared value, is not a dream, but the future. It is not a choice, but the future that we are going to have. Okay. How about ourselves? How about ourselves? Okay. In CUHK Business School, we would like our students and our graduates to be not only a profit seeking, okay, not only profit seeking, but also a business experts who possess strong business skills and at the same time well aware of these kind of impacts of business. We would like our students, we would like our graduates to be a potential change maker. Okay, so this is what we are, really striking to do. Okay, in the future. Okay, we would like our students to be the change maker. And what about your role, okay, as a consumer? Okay, on one hand, you can deepen your understanding on CSR and CSV in related initiatives, okay, and how business are affecting our community. And at the same time, very importantly, show your support to businesses with CSR and CSV initiatives. If you think that this is important, if you think that this is important for business to contribute back to society, okay, you show your support by your action. Okay. So to sum up a little bit, okay, very quickly in the past 30 minutes, okay, we have learned this kind of insights. Okay, we know that in the old times, many would think that business are just responsible for to shareholders. They only are interested in making money. But we know that the world has been changing in the past 10 or 20 years, and more often, businesses are expected to take up corporate social responsibility. And very importantly, we know that it doesn't really mean a real trade-off between economic profit and contributing, okay, in some sense, contributing to social value. Okay, these two can actually come hand in hand. A firm, a business can create value to society and at the same time sustain the long-term profit. Okay, and finally, you as a consumer has a role as well. Okay, you should show your support. Okay, and of course, we in the CHK Business School are actually, going in that particular direction. We would like our students to be business experts, and at the same time, pay a lot of attention to various problems that business are facing and that our society is facing. Okay. So because of the time constraint, I have to stop here. Thank you very much, and very nice to have this chance to share with you our insights.